weird intro. Hi guys, my name's Libby.
It's my first day here.
Cuckoo, everybody.
I think you need to do lots of energy, like cuckoo.
Hi guys, welcome to the best podcast that you will ever experience in your life.
The only podcast.
Here I have the most handsome, gorgeous Libby Goffey. Rab, I can't even say with me today because...
How? Because I'm not really here. I'm sleepy and tired tonight, and I'm like, we were kind of like, should we record tonight? Should we record tomorrow? And then we thought, the show must go on.
We really debated in and out. I think as well it's quite hard when it starts getting dark.
Yeah.
Because darkness means hibernation.
What's that song that goes, hello darkness, my old friend?
Yeah, I've come to talk to you again.
yeah.
There's loads of funny videos on that. But I think because it gets dark, it gets a bit harder as well. That's why again, you probably hear me say many times, I'm not a fan of winter, but...
Seasonal affective disorder, eh?
But I think once we get going, I think you might feel a bit better.
Well, it's because I ate all that pizza.
But yeah, so sorry about that intro, guys. I hope that was okay.
I thought it was...
I need like a...
You need your own catch line. Because every time you use mine, you get charged 12 pence royalties.
Really? Really?
Yes, really.
Yes, really.
Really?
Yes, really.
Like, do I have to? Do I have to?
You don't have to.
Yeah. Like, what else? Because I can't do this. Hi, guys. My name's Libby. Welcome to the best podcast in the world. Yeah, I should probably rehearse that, but then I don't want to rehearse it because then it won't come naturally. But
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't.
I'm just not used to the cameras yet.
No.
I will try for you though, but that was my first try there.
That was alright. You sold out the show last time. No, I mean, you closed out the show last time.
Yeah, closing's fine because I don't have to see a line or whatever you call it.
Well, I always use Cuckoo Cuckoo because that was from, it was originally from a Beatles song actually.
That's
in
it.
Cuckoo Cuckoo. And then the turtles in Nemo use it. It's like, Cuckoo Cuckoo, dude. And I always think it's funny. So I use it like, how are you? Cuckoo Cuckoo. Like, with loads of energy. That's my thing.
Cuckoo Cuckoo.
Whenever I write it, I always put capital C's. So it's coo and then another capital C, coo, catch-you.
What about woof, 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 woof? Because Cuckoo Cuckoo, that's what's that?
A cuckoo.
Bird.
I don't know, maybe. Who knows? Well. So tonight's episode is all about dreams, and we're not talking about aspiring dreams. We're talking about the dreams you have when you're asleep.
The dark ones.
Oh, yeah. Would you
nice
still call
ones.
a nightmare a dream? Because it's just a bad dream, right? So when does a bad dream become a nightmare?
Oh, well, there's a difference between a nightmare and a bad dream, right? Bad dream's like, oh, that was a bad dream. Nightmare's like, that was horrendous. Like...
And is a nightmare the same as night terrors as well? They were probably linked into that.
No, actually, no, because I know this because I had night terrors and I went to the doctors and everything about it. No, night terrors is when your body matches basically with your dreams.
Right.
So if you're falling down a cliff in your dream and your body's like, you know, shaking, that's a night terror because it's your body's basically connecting as well, so physically with the dream.
What's the difference then with the nightmare then? Because sometimes people can be in a nightmare, but they're not convulsing in bed. Because a night terror...
Well, that's just a night terror. If you go in your dream, that is a night terror still. So if that's in your nightmare, then it's a night terror. Does that make sense?
It sounds the same to me.
Well, no, because just going from a nightmare...
Is that the only time you make that sound? Or? That's a dream also.
That's no nightmare. I've had night terrors before. Night terrors, nightmares, whatever you want to call it. Where I had the same occurring dream, and I was shouting, like woke up by shouting.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I've done things like that.
Yeah.
Or when you have those bad dreams where you know you're dreaming, so you're trying to wake yourself up. So you're trying to, and then you've no voice, you're like trying to shout and yet the words won't come out.
Yes. That's quite a common one, isn't it? When you're in a dream and either you're running and you can't run, you're just running on the spot, or you're yelling and nothing's coming out. I had read up, I used to have a dream book, and I think that meant paranoia.
Well, we can actually search that tonight. We put into our Instagram, I keep calling it app group, our Instagram group, a question about different dreams, and there was some funny ones in there which we will get to. We'll also cover some of the most popular ones, but we can start off. Let's start off with the bad. What is the worst dream you've ever had? Worst.
That is extremely hard to say.
Okay, or the most realistic then, yeah.
The most realistic.
Do you need time to think, or?
Oh, I don't know about you, but I think some dreams are not, I don't know if they're suitable to say. Like some are real. Do you not ever think some are really dark?
Oh.
No.
I don't know where we're going with that one.
Like to the point where they're so dark, you're like, whoa, that's weird.
Yeah, I think minds can go really weird. You know, when you wake up, like, what the like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's weird. I mean, I've had dreams where like my head's been princesses, like Disney princesses, but I've had.
Me too.
I had this dream, and I won't forget it because I had it for a good few months. This was before I met you, and in the dream there was a couple of doors in the dream, and there was some paneling that I had to walk across that had water either side, and then each room was somebody that was chasing after me. So every room that I'd go in, there would be one person added to that. And it was basically like an assault course to try and run away from these men. Basically, it was like multiple men. There was a guy, I'll never forget, he almost looked like a biker. He had a big long beard. Biker look. And I kept going back to the dream. And obviously, because it was an assault course, I was able to go back to the dream and change it up. Like, seriously, I was like, oh, I'm in this dream again. Like, I knew I was dreaming. And that used to happen to me a lot. I actually had replied to a comment on Instagram about that, as I used to be quite good at controlling my dreams. Not so anymore. I don't know what's happened there, but I did used to control them quite well. Especially if I went into one, I'd be able to change it up, like change the ending of it.
Kind of like in Inception when they get the dream manager.
Yeah, which I had never seen. Remember,
I told you to go and watch it.
Because I had said to you, didn't I, that I had, I can control my dreams. And then I watched Inception, which is, pretty much that, isn't it?
It's quite scary when you have a dream, though, that affects you in real life. So there was this dream that I had once, right? And I was getting chased by this, like, rabid Doberman. You like Doberman when they've had their ears clipped and they're really pointy, and it was just drooling. And it didn't matter how fast I ran. You just knew it was going to catch you. You can't outrun a Doberman. And it's like I turned this corner and there's nothing but like a stretch of nothingness, like nothing to climb, nothing to hide behind. I was like, oh no.
Oh, no.
So I'm running and the Doberman, you know that bit when you look back, you're like, I shouldn't have looked back, but I did. And it just jumped and it sank my teeth hits teeth right into the side of my neck. I was like, and like in the dream, I could see it flying at me to the point where I could feel his bottom paws hit me here. And I was like, ah! And when I woke up and I felt the back of my neck, it was like, I'm still to this day, if you look there. Ah! Oh!
Did you make up that dream?
I stole it from Ace Mates.
You did? need to watch that now when I get a fight. You've never done that to me. Oh my god.
That was worth being tired for.
Did you know you were gonna do that?
Yeah, well, no. It was just when you were talking about dreams and terrors, and then I said, what's your
Oh my
work?
god, am I allowed to swear on here?
Oh, you're in it now.
God. I was like literally really getting into that.
I know. I knew. See, when like you were turning to look at me with big wide eyes, I was like, I've got to do this. I was waiting for you in the camera to turn and look. I was like,
God, I'm really overwhelmed.
That was a made-up dream. I stole it from the Ace Ventura movie.
Right, okay.
Sorry, wind it back.
Tell me your dreams.
Well, I actually genuinely had this really bad dream when I was younger. And it was two sides to the dream. So first of all, it would be an item, detail, like my Rubik's Cube over here, right? So, can you reach it 2 seconds? It'd be something like this. And then what would happen is it would start to shrink in my hand. And it would keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And my mind would be trying to process all the little coloured squares when it was so tiny. And it would start to give me a headache. I'm like, and it would just freak me out. And then it would flip. And then suddenly it would just expand and get really, really big. Where I'd be like, then all of a sudden I'd feel really insignificant and small. And it was like the weirdest dream where, I don't know, it wasn't, it was like, I guess it was a bad dream because it used to always make me wake up. I would stress myself out trying to think about the detail when it was really small. And then I'd feel overwhelmed. I mean, to the point it got so gigantic. I was like, oh my God. Like, if you've ever been in a big city and you stand at the bottom of a skyscraper and look up, you're like, wow, that's huge. You know, it was like that, but even bigger again. I was like, and it was just like,
wow. Amazing, really.
The only other time I even got hints of that, believe it or not, was when I was watching the Titanic movie. And there's a scene in the Titanic movie when it's sinking, when the bottom end of the ship comes up. Now, I know from, obviously, my daughter's not researching it big time, how huge those ships are. So even when I watch the movie and I see the propellers come up, I think of everybody in the water looking up at how big that must have been and how they shouldn't really be seeing the underside of the ship. And I was just, even to this day, I'm just like, oh wow, that still causes me.
Yeah.
So
would you class that as a nightmare? Or?
Well, I think, it depends, because it's definitely a bad dream, because it doesn't, I wake up and it's one of those dreams where you wake up and you can't wait to go back to sleep to have a better dream.
Right, okay.
One of them.
Can you ever, I used to be able to do this as well. I don't know, maybe the scientifics of that. As I've got older, I can't control my dreams as much, but I used to be able to dream about something. Did you ever?
If you went to bed thinking about it?
Yeah.
Because if you had a really cool dream weeks before or day before, you'd be right, I want to go back to that dream, and you kind of engineer it a little bit.
I have a lot, the majority of my dreams are running away, but I can't. That's a lot of the time. A lot of the time in woods, I'm in woods trying to run away from somebody, and I can't.
Yeah. Do you think that's because you're trying to run in your bed? Like you're actually trying to move your legs and can't? You think it's that, or what?
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying.
Like
okay.
you're actually trying. You're trying to move your legs in bed. You can't because the sheets. You think it's that? Because I've woken up before tangled in the sheets.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't think so. I think.
You were entertaining me for like a whole flight.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't think so. I think. I think it's more psychological on that one.
Yeah.
Like running away but you can't, or screaming but you can't scream. Yeah.
Well, one of the most common ones that people have is their teeth either breaking or falling out.
That's money, isn't it?
Well, it's funny because if you look up, whenever I researched that, it was always insecurity that I found. But when I was doing research recently, they always talk about anxiety or insecurity. So, what did you think it was?
I thought it was money.
Money problems?
Money problems. If your teeth were falling out in your dreams.
Again, it could all be tied into one. It might be anxious or anxiety, fear of future about money.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever I've had that dream, I've had it quite a few times over the years, not all the time, but when I've had it, my biggest fear,
was horrible.
I'm aware that I'm dreaming, and in my dream I'm like, please don't be grinding your teeth in bed. Like, and in the dream I'm like, let go, Rab, let go, let go.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, it's too late, and you're like,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm going to have to wake up to this in the morning.
Oh, God.
Because you do start to worry that you're actually doing that.
I did, have you ever sleepwalked?
No.
No. Do you not think sleepwalking's quite mad?
Yeah, I do have some funny stories about
It's
that.
quite crazy. All right. The only thing I would say, physically, I've woke up, like sitting up.
Okay.
I have woke up sitting up, but I've also woke up with tears. Like, so in my dreams, I've been crying, and I have actually woke up with tears, proper soaked face, which is kind of weird. But that just shows you how real dreams are.
Yeah.
That you're like you physically, your body reacts.
Yeah. Well, I won't name names, but growing up, there was a boy that when we'd have like, say, house parties and everybody go to bed, and he was quite drunk, but he would get up in the middle of the night and start peeing in the corner, right? And he was just not with it. We're like, what are you doing? And we just put it down to the drink, right? We just didn't throw anything over it. So anyway, years later, I was out with another group of friends who were from another town. I'm trying to be as ambiguous as I can. And guys get together, they share war stories. And then one of my mates started sharing this war story about a girl that he'd been dating, that in the middle of the night, she got up and squatted in his wardrobe and started peeing.
No.
And as he tells the story, he went, what are you doing? He said her name. What are you doing? And I then said, no. And I said her name and then the surname. And we worked out they were brother and sister.
Oh.
So the guy that I knew
You've
that
told
peed
me.
in the corner of the room, his sister, who somebody I didn't meet till later, well, I knew the sister, but this person, the sister did the same thing. Like,
How funny is that? Runs in the family. Obviously.
Like, just like totally out of it and no memory of doing it either. Like when you say to them the next day, they're like, don't remember it.
I knew somebody that peed as well. Peed in the corner. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
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 Well, you hear all those other stories when you were mentioning about sleepwalking. I nearly said sleepwalking. When they're like at their partner's house and they go and climb in with their partner's mum and dad in bed.
Oh my God.
Like,
no
could
way.
you imagine you did that? You'd be such a liability. You know, you've met someone you imagine. Maybe I was like, yeah, can I stay at yours if we were younger and you still live with the parentals?
No way.
And I'd be like, or you'd be like, Rab, come and stay over. I'd be like, I can't. I might wake up when your mum and dad's in bed.
Oh no. Oh my God, that would be horrendous. Have you ever said anybody's name in your sleep?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Was I not saying my mum's name not long ago?
Yeah, you were. Oh, you were saying mum.
I was telling my mum about that, and she was like, "Oh, that's so sweet."
Well, you were used to it because then afterwards you said you were dreaming about her.
Yeah. Was I not like, "Yes, mum"?
Yeah. We used to play pranks on people. It was quite, if everybody like fell asleep and then if somebody fell asleep before everybody else, they were always going to get pranked, right? If you're having sleepovers. And the way to do it, which was if you did something indirect, so you'd say something like, Mark, your mum's on the phone. She wants to know what you want on your sandwiches. Right? Something like that. So they focus on, tell her cheese and pickle. Now, thankfully, they didn't have camera phones in that day, but we would be in absolute stitches.
That is so funny.
But the trick is, you have to say something indirect. And it was always, if you involved their parents at that age, the minute you mentioned that, it was like a command thing. I guess it's like me with Nala. Nala hears her name, it's a command. So back then, it was like, your mum's on the phone. And you had to say something, get straight away, something indirect. Like, she wants to know what you want on your sandwiches, or she wants to know if you're going to training tomorrow, or something, whatever it is. And they're like, yeah. And they actually answer, and they have no memory of it
That is so
whatsoever.
Yeah, it's funny dreaming, isn't it? Really, if you think about it, it's a whole new other world. Just shows you how powerful the mind is.
Well, there's 4 stages of sleep, and you dream in REM sleep, which is your rapid eye movement. It's actually your lightest sleep. So it's arguably, you've got your first stage of sleep where you're kind of nodding off, and then you've got your really deep sleep where you don't dream at all. And then your REM sleep is stage 4. So, and then as the night goes on, each stage, I believe, gets longer and longer and longer. So usually you finish on your REM sleep, which is you're then dreaming before you eventually then wake up. Which is why usually you can remember your dreams. But sometimes throughout the night, if you've had a dream and then it's gone back into the next cycle again, you wake up, you can't remember what your dream was because it was earlier on in the night and you've had other things since.
Right. Or my memory's just really bad.
Well, some people write their dreams down on a notepad.
Yeah. Well, I did write mine down. Remember that? Oh, I don't think I told you that, actually. I did write it down. Remember, I woke up and I was like, oh, I had a really bad dream. It was here.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
And you wrote it?
I wrote it down. Yeah, remember, it was a bit
dark.
It was quite dark.
Oh, I didn't realise you'd written it down. Oh, wow.
I did write it down at, what was it, 5 in the morning? 2 or 5. 2 or 5. Can't remember, but yeah. I think it's interesting as well, and I'd love to know, could maybe look up that actually, is why you start having bad dreams when it gets darker. Because I do think that's a thing.
Yeah, I wonder if it's
season changing, like,
yeah, why
your body, or your mind, your mind.
Well, it depends, I guess, as well. It's like when it gets darker, your circadian rhythm will change because your melatonin and serotonin get messed. And I wonder, melatonin will then come into the system earlier because of daylight or lack of daylight. You love kicking that camera.
Sorry.
But you know the funny thing is, she just kicks the camera, but you guys won't notice because in the edit it gets stabilised. Kick away.
Oh, right. Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was? I was looking at this left eye. Like, see if you look at your eye too long. It looks like it's looking the other direction.
One of my eyes is slightly, the eyelids are more lazy. I notice in pictures where one's more...
Really?
When I'm doing my smouldering gaze, one eye's more shut than the other. I can't remember which one it is because it's all flip.
Why have I never noticed that?
Because you don't look at me that often. I've been so dramatic today. Do you know what it started off with? We said, right, we've got a Saturday together. And she said, yeah, let's have a nice day when we're not on our phones. And I felt like I was being told off. And she was talking about herself, allegedly. So I was like, I'm a bad boyfriend. I ruined everything.
Come on, you were the one saying in the last one of the podcasts, quality time, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
It was the fact I do enjoy it. I
quality.
kind of felt like you were telling me off. So I was like...
You think I'm always telling you off. It's true though, right?
I'll probably end up having a nightmare about that tonight, people.
I'm really bad for it. I'm really bad for it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go on TikTok for hours. But then everybody does that, right? You just have to make a conscious effort to realise that. No, Rab, you weren't getting told off.
Anyway, that comes back round to what I was about to say, is like, you wonder how, because when it comes to dreams, people have different theories on why you dream what you dream. Some say it's replaying the events from the day. That's a common one. Sometimes it's replaying the feelings you experienced throughout the day, maybe directly or indirectly because they've been hanging around because of things going on in your life as well. So then when you were saying about the dark coming in, I wonder if it's certain things you're afraid of the dark, or does it trigger old memories, or I don't know. I don't know if anybody else experiences bad dreams through darkness, but I certainly noticed that when that full moon was out, I was having weird dreams, like really weird dreams.
Yeah. Did you know the full moon was out before you started dreaming?
No, it wasn't until I was having weird dreams. And a few other people who keep an eye on the moon were also saying they're having weird dreams because of the moon. And I was like, well, some of my dreams were just crazy. In fact, we'll get to the comments in our group in a moment. But there was one comment in the group which was hilarious, right?
Oh, why is this?
But it was one of those dreams where I was like, well, it was my dream. But when I read that person's dream, I was like, yep. That sounds like kind of the dream I was having recently.
Really?
With coconut phones.
Oh my God, that one, if you're watching this right now, that was so fun. I love how random it is. It's so good. Sometimes dreams are just so weird, aren't they? You can't really, and that's when I wake up and I laugh when you hear that saying of like, oh, dreams have meaning. I'm like, are you sure?
Well, the thing is, some of them may or may not. Like, there's a reoccurring dream. When I say reoccurring, it's not all the time, but it reoccurs every couple of months. And it's that I haven't left school yet. I haven't. So I'd be sitting here chatting to you guys on the podcast, and then all of a sudden I've got this sudden dread that I didn't get my leavers form signed. Because I can't remember getting my leavers form signed. I remember being in sixth year and not being happy at school and going, this isn't for me. And then I remember everything after it. But I don't remember that day going around getting my leavers form. So I'm thinking, am I still at school? Like, am I still technically enrolled?
Really? That's so funny.
And I just wonder if it means unfinished business or something. I don't
maybe.
know.
I've had a couple of very, very special dreams. Be interesting to know if you've had these.
Special dreams. Well,
It'd be
let's
interesting.
keep the podcast PG, people.
It'd be interesting to know if you ever had a dream of somebody that's passed away.
Oh, yes, I have actually. Yeah.
Do you not think that's really amazing?
Yeah, and then
Because you've memorized. I mean, obviously they're not real in the dream, but you've memorized like everything of that person, their mannerisms. That actually they come alive, and that's how amazing the brain is. How much it's stored.
well, it's whether you believe it's just a memory doing that through the brain, or whether you believe it's something.
Oh, I believe it's a memory, but that's just me.
But then again, there's other people that would believe that that's them coming to chat to you.
Yeah, maybe, and that would be really lovely if that was the case.
Either way, it's quite awesome, right?
Yeah, either way, I kind of hope that is the case, to be honest. But I've had dreams of Dad coming back in the dreams, and I speak to him, which is so nice.
So it's either your memory or it's something else, right? Which is pretty.
Yeah. I think if you've had a traumatic experience as well, if you've got a bit of trauma, people tend to then relive that in their dreams as well.
Yeah. Do you wonder if it's a way of dealing with it as well?
It is. It's a way of processing it, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned the teeth one earlier about breaking of teeth, and that's psychologists believe it's either anxiety, insecurity, or worries about money. But I remember once speaking to someone in the gym. We were talking about dreams, and they said, they kept having this dream about they're chewing this bit of bubble gum, and it just keeps getting bigger in their mouth, bigger and bigger, and they're trying to spit it out, but the bubble gum just keeps getting bigger. And at the time, I was thinking, well, I wonder what that means. So we then got the computer open and did a search, and what baffled me, first of all, was that particular dream, word for word, bubble gum expanding in your mouth, blah blah blah, had been searched like 26 million times.
Oh, how weird.
And then the explanation, again, that they think is that there's something you're trying to say but can't, you can't get the words out. Mm-hmm. But I was just baffled that here's this most bizarre random dream. I'd never had that particular dream then, and I've never had it since. Mm-hmm. Even though, because they do say that if something has been explained to you, there's a chance then you might then dream it because you're now aware of it.
Yeah.
I've never had that. But the 26 million other people searched for it. And that doesn't necessarily mean 26 million people have had that dream. But it means there's probably there's at least a few million people have had that dream and then have searched it a few times.
Yeah, or their friends had it and they searched for it. Yeah.
26 million searches on something so random like bubblegum like that. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was the bit that was like, whoa, no way.
Yeah.
So there you go. So if you
how is everybody's brain the same like that? Do you know what I mean? How does that work then?
Right, well, we'll ask Uncle Google. We'll see how many times it's been searched. Hold on. Uncle Google. What dream? We'll pick a dream and we'll search it.
Running away. But
what
can't run.
Does running away in a dream? Let's just see if it'll give us actual hit numbers. Now, how do you find
Trying to escape from something in life.
Yeah, they used to be able to find out how many times it's been searched. I know. But,
okay.
I used to tell you. Is it on Google? Is it tools? Yeah, tools. So apparently 195 million results on that one. So
wow.
How do we get the exact specific ones? That's your tool, right? That was like 3 trumpety trumps. Was that you grinding the food?
No, that was me.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, that's obviously search results and people talking about it.
Right.
Let's think of another specific dream then.
Why do we do a repetitive job. Why you have a why you dream of a job?
Why do you dream of a repetitive?
Your job.
No, I want to be specific.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Almost 10 million hits on that one. Your job is taking a lot of your mental space.
Your job is taking up a lot of your mental space.
Yeah. So there we go. There we go. So what we'll do, we'll go to our group. We'll see the ones that they came. So Libby's got them ready. So we asked into our podcast group on Instagram above. We asked them if they're weird and wonderful dreams, and we got some pretty funny answers.
Yeah. So the first one we have is I have had reoccurring dreams since I was a teenager. Most are about houses I lived in and are recognisable immediately.
Just like links to the home or something like that.
Yeah, familiar places, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess where your mind knows so much detail because she then put, I remember most dreams in extraordinary detail when I wake up. Is that because she already knows the detail? Do you know what I mean by that?
Well, is it from memory or?
Yeah, well, from memory.
Or are they revisiting those places? Are they going back in a thread? Because then it's amazing that because even if that was memory, you're focusing on that detail. That's amazing what your brain stores. If that's the case,
isn't it just incredible?
But you don't focus on it because if you're sitting here now and you're thinking, "Oh, I wonder what colour the skirting boards were in my second house," you probably wouldn't be able to think of it on the spot, but you'd probably be able to dream of it.
Isn't it amazing to think that you've probably dreamt about somebody and somebody's maybe dreamt about you that you haven't met? Because I've had that before where I've had dreams and I'm like, who the heck is that?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know who that person is, but like, is that a real person? Or like, have I passed that person on the street? My memory, like, my brain's remembered that person and then plonked it in my dream.
It's when also you dream of someone, but the person doesn't look like the person, but it's them. Like, say it's your next door neighbour, right? It's your next door neighbour in the dream. You know it's your next door neighbour, but looks nothing like them. But in the dream, you're accepting that this person next to you is your neighbour or your best friend or something, but they look nothing like them. You ever had that?
No.
I bet millions of people have had that.
Interesting. Every so often, I dream that I'm being chased by zombies. I never see them, but myself and other people are running or hiding, and we look back and someone keeps saying, "They're coming! Hurry up!" Yeah, zombies. I've never dreamed of zombies, but yeah, again, running and chasing in your dream.
Yeah.
It's quite common.
It's that, I mean, that's the whole fight or flight element of it as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously we've got to also take into account how much we're influenced by what we experience just before bed. Like when we talk about don't watch horror movies, they'll give you bad dreams. But I remember watching not necessarily what you would consider a well, I suppose it is a horror movie, but it was the Terminator movies, right? And it wasn't so much the fact that it was an indestructible robot. The bit that was terrorizing me in my sleep was that it would not stop trying to chase you. There was no like distracting it. There was no, like, that was the bit that was scary. It was that it would just keep coming for you.
Yeah.
It didn't matter how, if you jumped in a car and it was walking, fine. But the scary part of the dream was no matter how far you drove, it's going to just keep making its way to try and find you. And that was blooming awful.
Yeah. Do you know how to wake yourself up from a dream?
I've been in dreams where I basically try and shout to wake myself up.
Right, yeah. I think that's quite amazing how you can do that.
Yeah, if you really kind of push in.
Yeah.
But then,
or sometimes I'm really fighting it. Like, I don't know if you remember me saying to you, but I had a nap and I could feel myself, like, feel my head, like, trying to go forward. It's hard to explain. But I was fighting waking
you
up.
just like penguin dive off the sofa to wake yourself up.
Imagine you walked into the room and I'm like trying to wake up. But yeah, it's quite amazing, isn't it?
Well, I have had dreams similar. Like, it's usually when I've gone for a nap, because you do get different types of dreams, right? You get your in bed at night dreams, but then you also get the kind of nap dreams if you're lying on the sofa. And I've had the one where you're lying there, you have gone to sleep because you're dreaming, but that like robbers have come in to steal your television, and you're lying there on the sofa and you're trying to wake up to stop them. But your body's numb and you're like, get up, get up and save the day. Save your telly. But you can't, and you're so numb, and it's annoying you, and they're like taking things off the wall and helping themselves, thinking you're asleep, but you're like, I'm awake, I just can't move. And then eventually wake up and you're like, oh, thank God for that. I wish I had kids as well.
I know. It's so addictive. This one I thought was so funny.
This one's good.
This one's so good. I had a fun one. Sorry guys, I'm quite bad at reading, so I'll try. I had a fun one the other night. I had to pick up my tea from somewhere. Couldn't find my way, so hitched a ride. Hitched a ride on a whale. Who had a pet goat. I was eating corn on the cob and talking to my son on a coconut phone.
Well, she's bound to.
I love it. It's so funny. When I arrived at my destination, my son was the jury of a jam donut. The jam donut contest, and I was upset because I brought hot dogs. I love how random this one is. I have no idea why. Maybe it's the seizures. All I know is that if my dream ever becomes a movie, Johnny Depp is the lead role. So good.
The coconut phone one for that one was funny.
Coconut phone, the riding on a whale who had a pet goat. Like, just so random. You've got a great imagination.
But that's the thing, is the brain will just come out with the most random things, and in the dream it makes sense. And that's where you're like, what the like,
yeah,
it makes sense in the confines of the dream. But out with that, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. I wish I could remember my dreams more, but yeah, I'm bad at remembering them. You're so good at remembering them. You're like, oh, I had this dream. You wake up and you're like, reeling off the dream, and I'm like, oh, I had a bad dream. And you're like, what's it about? I'm like, I can't remember. But
well, it's because, I mean, when I have the nights when I dream lots, majority of them I don't remember, but I cling to the one that I do. But there's actually, whenever I've told you I've had weird dreams, I usually only remember 1 or 2 out of the 5 I've had. But I do remember how the other ones made me feel, and I'm like, oh, I didn't like that. But yeah, there's some really, really random ones.
Is there ever dreams that you don't want to talk about?
Sometimes, yeah.
Like,
well, I don't want to talk about them, right?
Oh. Okay. What are they, good ones or bad?
Night terrors.
Oh dear. Oh, maybe I don't want to know then.
Exactly, that's why I'm not talking.
Oh, okay. Okay, just don't tell me that ever. Right. Often dreams I can fly, not Supergirl, but hover just above ground and sometimes a wee bit higher. Usually only fly if I'm in a rush. It's quicker than driving. That's so funny. All my others are too dark and scary to share. I'm with you on that. There's quite a lot. I could tell you, the one I had the other day, but just sometimes they are just too dark. So I am with you on that one. So
I have had those dreams though where, like that person was saying, that they can fly or equivalent. The dream I had once was that I could step on air. Now, I wasn't flying as such, but it's like, if I wanted to get on the roof, I just had to be strong enough of mind to step in midair, as if there were stairs, invisible stairs going up, and I could get up on the roof. And in the confines of the dream, I understood fully that I could do this in the dream, but that my waking mind didn't believe it enough to make it so. So that was my limiting factor when I was awake, is that I didn't believe it. Doubt was my first step on my road to disappointment. There we are. So then even when I wake up, I used to think to myself, wow, I'm awesome in my dreams. If I could only just believe that now. And every now and again I'd be walking the dog and I'd be like, trying to just step on imaginary and like hurt myself when it does nothing. But you do wonder, like, what is there things that we can do but we don't believe we can do it, so our doubt breaks our focus, maybe. You never know. But I have had that. And the other one I had was that I could, if you've ever seen one of the Incredible Hulk movies, he can just jump, like, for, I don't know how far he's the Incredible Jumping Hulk. But in this dream, a similar kind of thing, that I couldn't necessarily fly, but if I wanted to get to yours, I would just go out in the garden and then just jump. And I'd be like, and I'd be landing down on the field. And as I landed, I was like, you know, obviously you've got the momentum, so you land and you stumble and then you just jump again. And it felt real. I think it is real. I think it's all my doubts holding me back.
I guess what is real and what's not, I guess, right?
What's useful and what's true, I believe it.
Dream maybe when I actually do go to sleep. Mum, yes. Yeah. Grass cutting and everything related to lawn care.
As somebody that takes pride in their environment.
That's somebody that takes pride in their lawn. Nothing worse than dreaming about being at work all night than having to go to work in the morning. Most of my dreams are just too weird to try and start to explain. I'm with you on that one as well. They are too weird. Mine.
One of the most frustrating dreams I had when I was younger, I used to have a paper round. I was really, really fond of this paper round. I used to get up early. It was the birth of me getting up ridiculously early. And I had this very vivid dream that I got up, right? And I went to the paper shop and I got my round together and I had to walk. It was a 25-minute walk up to the top of Glen Office where I did my round. And in the dream, I was door to door, came back home, climbed back into bed. Then my alarm went off. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And it was I got up and I was disorientated in my room and I was thinking, and I remember thinking, well, I better check. I was like, I'm sure I've done my paper round already. So what I did was I opened my paper bag and we used to get these little print-off forms, you know, like these old printers. They used to have the wee circle bits of paper either side that you could peel off. So we used to get them to get all the doors on it for that day that you had to deliver newspapers to. The door or the address plus whatever newspaper magazine you're getting. And I used to keep them folded up in there. And sometimes I'd have like, from the whole week ahead, so I'd have like 5 or 6 of them still in the bag. So I'm skimming through them like, no, that's Monday, that's Tuesday, that's Wednesday. I was like, where's today's? It's not there. It's not there. I'm looking at the time. I'm thinking, well, the paper shop opened at 6:15. Right now, it's just after 6:15. I was like, oh no. I'm going to have to actually do my paper round again. So I dreamt that I'd done the whole thing. I was grumpy all the way around. I felt like I was doing the whole thing twice in one day.
Horrendous. I've never had that.
That was horrendous, Libby.
That sounds horrendous.
Horrendous.
Oh my God, imagine that.
Yeah, so that's.
Oh no, that would really suck. Thinking you just on holiday.
Yeah, so.
But were you not really energetic and you thought, feels like I've slept?
No, because I felt like I was doing something twice, and that sucked.
Ah.
So it's kind of like what they were saying there about dreaming all night of your work and then having to go work the next day.
That sucks.
It's
yeah, that would really suck.
Yeah. Now I did a quick search on the most common dreams. Obviously, we had some as we spoke about. So, and now this particular website's analysis of what the dreams are about. But you search different sites, you get different answers. So, the dream you're back in school taking a test. And apparently the interpretation is usually this dream is connected to work, says Lauenberg or whoever that is. School was our first job ever, Lauenberg points out, adding that this dream is common when a work challenge is on the horizon. School doing a test. The next one was, it was 14 most common, I don't know why 14, that you're hanging out with a celebrity, any celebrity.
No, I've never had that. What's that?
I actually had it when I was younger, and I think it's because at the time Britney Spears had come out and I had a bit of a crush on her, like a lot of guys did. And in the dream, I was like hanging out with her. I was like, "This is awesome." I was like friends with her, you know. Until she went crazy, obviously, but still. The interpretation is if the celeb cameo feels random, there's still a reason they're hanging around your subconscious. Ultimately, there's something about that person, and it could be deep in their IMDb history that's relevant to you right now. So there we go. It might just be because I was fantasizing about her, that might have played into it. The dream your partner cheated on you.
I've had that before. Remember I told you about that?
Oh, you did? Yes.
Remember? I was grumpy.
Well, you better hear the explanation then. I'm going to get grumpy because if there's infidelity in your past, either in this relationship or a past relationship, this will keep cropping up because it's a bone of contention within yourself.
You've had it as well.
I have not.
Yes, you have. That's lie. That's
Oh, well, it's just this one analysis of it.
What's this? Grazia.
Bizarre. Bizarre. Oh, the next dream is you cheated on your partner.
Oh.
This is one of the 14 apparently. This one could be just as alarming, yet it's just as symbolic.
Oh.
The next one, you're running late to something super important. Not just important.
Oh, I get that.
What, something important or something super important?
Actually, that's... Yeah,
You're always running late, though.
Shush. I always have that where I'm trying to catch a flight and I can't catch it. I'm always late. Or I'm going somewhere, going to a party and I can't get to it.
Well, then you might agree with this analysis then. If you work in a deadline-orientated field, which you do because you're time-based, this one is pretty self-explanatory. So, yeah. So because you're running about all day with specific times, that maybe be why you're dreaming that you're running late for something.
Yeah, I always have those. Or is that real life?
The next one, the dream, you're pregnant. Oh. Even if you're not trying to have children, Lewenberg says this is a positive dream to have as it's reflective that something is growing and developing inside you.
Oh, what's your dream? Is that you're pregnant?
The dream is that you're pregnant.
And that you're actually pregnant in real life then?
Well, it's saying even if you're not having children, it's reflective that something is developing inside you. It doesn't necessarily mean a baby. Maybe you're working on yourself in some shape or form, or it could be symbolic. The next one, the dream, you're standing on a cliff and suddenly you're falling into nothingness. So that's the classic falling dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dreams of falling can be associated with feeling out of control or overwhelmed. They may also relate to feeling unsupported and insecure.
Lovely. Imagine everyone on watching this like shit.
It was like, thanks Aquarium podcast. Now I'm insecure, anxious, worried about money.
My boyfriend's cheating on me.
Yeah, and I'm pregnant.
My boyfriend's cheating on me. I'm cheating on my boyfriend apparently.
The dream, you've lost your voice and you're unable to call or shout for help.
I always get that one.
You want to maybe wait on the explanation before you declare differently. Please don't give me psychoanalyzing me.
Sorry.
The interpretation, this may not just be a dream, but may be the result of sleep paralysis. Okay. During REM, rapid eye movement, the sleep cycle during which we dream, our bodies experience REM atonia, a natural paralysis during the REM cycle. Physiologically, we are paralyzed during REM sleep to prevent our bodies from acting or moving while we dream. That must be tied in with the running. Like trying to run away.
Yeah.
So I wonder then with a night terror, because you actually then do move. So is a night terror maybe REM sleep plus movement, or who knows?
I don't know. I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit boggled.
I'm going to read this the way it's written, just because this would be my dream. The dream. You're naked in public. Now, we've had similar dreams, haven't we? Like, you're naked in public, or I'm not necessarily naked, but I have had that dream where I went to school in my pajamas, or you're wearing something that's not appropriate to be in public.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, you think you're wearing shorts, and you look down, you're in your underpants. You're like,
yeah.
So these dreams are often accompanied by feelings of embarrassment and shame. We need a shame bell.
Shame! Shame!
That kind of makes sense, though, doesn't it?
Shame.
They've not gone really, like, I don't feel like they've delved that deep into it. Like, yeah, that obviously, yeah.
It's just bizarre magazine, right? They can also be related to feelings of vulnerability and exposure. But if you're in the nude and feel no shame, it could be the total opposite. Perhaps this person wants to be seen, acknowledged, or admired. Flasher. This one has the teeth are suddenly falling out, which says interpretation. Are you an anxious person? It could be pent-up anxiety coming through in the form of a dream, which is what we talked. Some of these analyses are crap. The dream, you're being chased. So somebody pointed in they were getting chased by zombies.
Yeah.
It all depends on who is doing the chasing. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Often people are being chased by a monster. The monster may be a manifestation of an indiscretion, an addiction, or a debt, explains Braun. If you have the unfortunate dream or nightmare of being chased by someone you know, it could differ. Your associations about the person chasing you are often more insightful than focusing on the actual person chasing you. So it's the associations to it. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Keep in mind, people in dreams can be substitutions for other people or even substitutions for aspects of ourselves. There we are. This one sounds crap. We'll skip that one.
No. What the heck?
Yeah, that's a 14. And then there's an advertisement for Barbie. So random.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Interesting. But believe it or not, it's still interesting, right?
Yeah. It's whether you believe, though, because sometimes you speak to people about dreams. You know, I had a dream about this. And then there's always someone in the room say, it's just a dream. It's a load of nonsense. It's your mind replaying events. And it's hard to prove one thing or another.
Yeah. I know somebody who truly believes that they can tell the future with their dreams.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like they're pretty confident that they've had a couple of incidents where their dreams have told the future, and quite big things in life as well.
How interesting.
Yeah, like big illnesses in the family and stuff that person's dreamt of and it's come true. And
well, on a smaller scale, I remember having a dream about one of my mates I used to walk to high school every day. And I hadn't seen him for like 6 years. I hadn't even thought about him. That was the weird thing. And I had a dream. He was in my dream. And the next day I was like, that's so weird. Like, what? Why was he in my dream? I haven't thought or seen him for a long time. And that was within 2 days, I was down the town centre. Who'd I bump into? That guy. I was like, what? How you doing?
Weird.
And when things happen, you're like, what is the chances that, am I picking up on the wavelength that he was back in town or something? I don't know.
Yes, yeah.
It was weird how that tied in.
Interesting, isn't it?
But you think, like, imagine rewind the clock, right? Way back to, I don't know, Roman times, right? And imagine Julius Caesar has a bad dream that his general is going to turn around and stab him. And then he wakes up. Now, whether he believes it's a dream or a premonition, imagine he's like, get him. Because he had a bad dream.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that.
I know. I wonder what people actually thought.
Like, I wonder whether
dreams.
I wonder if we've deliberately encouraged people to say they're just dreams to stop us going around and getting people who've had bad dreams.
Yeah, like have they actually just brainwashed us into thinking that they don't matter?
Yeah, exactly.
And actually, they do.
Yeah.
What about the cheating one?
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, can you imagine, like, years back, hundreds or even thousands of years ago, when there must have been a time when they didn't fully understand dreams the way that we do now. So you have a bad dream, like you think of, wow, you have to dream that you get into a scuffle with somebody, right? Or an altercation of sorts, and then you see them the next day. You know, you're like,
Yeah.
I wonder if that caused problems back in the day.
Oh, I think so. Probably, yeah, when they weren't so educated.
Yeah.
Like cavemen, when the brains weren't fully developed then.
They're just going like, skull
Yeah, but they were. They wouldn't have been able to speak. Remember, they wouldn't have had speech.
What would they have said?
They wouldn't have though.
Do you know what I said there?
I love you too.
Oh. What am I saying now?
Later, darling. No.
Keep it PG.
What was it? What was it that time? And you were like, "Oh, do you speak?"
Yawn. Was it yawn?
Oh, it was yawn. That was it.
You
Yeah.
ever done that when like you yawn and then you try and talk at the same time, right? Now I do it sometimes, but Libby did it to me. But when somebody does it to you, they're like, and you're like, I don't speak yawn, like fuck's sake.
Was it not through like in the other room as well? And I was like, yeah. You're like, how do you know what yawn speech is?
It's like in Finding Nemo.
Yeah, the whale.
I can speak well.
Yeah. I love that film actually. We should watch that on the weekend. That's so good.
There's our Saturday sorted with no phones, Finding Nemo, rock and roll. That's perfect for our podcast, actually. It's fish, right?
Fish, yeah.
It's interesting because you don't like, well, you don't like eating fish. Do you like fish in general? We should get a fish tank. Actually, we should kill fish.
I don't mind fish, but if I'm at like in a salmon farm or something, I'm not a big fan.
No.
It's just the smell that I can't. Just the smell of fish. I find it. I wonder if my nose is different to everybody else's, because when I see people that eat fish, I'm like, how can they actually eat that? Like this, it just smells really strong to me. Like, do you not just get this massive woof of fish?
What's that? And there's a movie where like the cartoon character goes, fresh fish! Like, it's in Aladdin. He's stumbling through them. Oh no, Jasmine has dressed up to escape the palace and she's going through the market and everything's all new and weird and wonderful. And she turns and the guy then sticks all the fish in her face, like, fresh fish! Like that.
Yeah.
Fresh fish! Yeah.
Right. I think that's it, guys. Thank you. We survived.
Yeah. Are you okay now after my... That was good. I'm going to watch that back.
Oh, yeah. I so need to see that. Yeah, I've recovered. You're a little bugger. You actually really got me there. You do know that. Like, really got me there.
It's in the detail.
I can't be getting frights right now.
You might pee yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to follow our Instagram. Is it going to be up here?
Yeah, it can go be wherever you want.
You shall be accepted if you're cool enough. With my little dance.
I don't think so. No, 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 no.
Yeah, follow our Instagram, guys, and I think we should do a little quiz on what to talk about next week.
Yeah,
I think so. I think if any of you have got any topics, let us know.
It's only because she's running out of ideas. It's all your awesome ideas, to be fair. I'm just the editor.
Yeah, I'll try.
So Libby needs help with ideas, topics.
Well, also as well, it's good to know what everybody else wants to talk about, right? So let us know.
And we promise we'll have even more energy again next week, because this was a late one again, wasn't it? Last week we had loads of energy between us because we filmed at, 5 p.m. This was another 8:30, 9 p.m. job, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's late. We do go to bed early as well. We're early bedders, so it's quite hard. I don't know if anyone's heard of the Big Daddy.
She actually does meet the chocolate bar. Hey, it's a whale. There we are. The comet with the whale. And the coconut phones.
And Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
This went viral, this. On TikTok.
Good old TikTok.
So, look at that. Yummy yum.
It's just a giant Twix, people.
Look at the size of it. Look. And it actually is that size. Isn't it?
Yeah, rather than...
It's huge. It is massive. But yeah, it is basically a massive Snicker. What? What is it? Right, it's bedtime.
You just know I'm going to edit that in such a way to make it seem like you're talking something else.
I don't know if anyone's heard of the Big Daddy. Look at the size of it. And it actually is that size. It's huge. It is massive. It's quite hard. We do go to bed early as well. We're early bedders, so yummy yum.
Are we going to go and make some dreams?
Yeah. I'll see you in my dreams.
Look at me acting cool, because, the minute my head hits the pillow, I'm like, I'm drooling everywhere.
Right. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a nice evening. See you soon.
Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye.